Okay, we are live. I'm going to go shut the door. Actually, I might even move around so we don't have a light above our head. But if you are in Facebook, go ahead and comment so I know that you're there. Okay, I see two people came into. Good morning, Facebook user. Glad to see we got some people here. Okay, so that is just going to drive me nuts. What if we move like this? Okay, we're going to move. We are going to move. Hey, I'm glad to have some virtual. You guys just make sure to comment because I'm going to ask questions. And the more you comment, the more interactive it'll be. So glad to be doing it virtually. Glad that you guys are here. And we'll go ahead and get started because this is being recorded. So you'll be able to come back and watch this again. And oh, Conrad's here. Thank you. So perfect. Okay. The name of this class is called What I Wish I Would Have Knew When I Started My Business. And I'm going to explain how it got that title because I didn't give it that title. The forum did, and I actually think it's pretty appropriate. So I'll go ahead and share that in a minute. But Conrad knows me. My name's Christy Jenks. And I'm a mom of 7. I'm a local realtor here in the Phoenix metro area. I am a Tom Ferry coach and a team leader to the Big Helper Realty Group. And I love teaching these classes. I love giving back to my community. And for anybody that's interested in EXP or possibly joining a team, I'd love for you to go check us out, bighelpergroup.com. You can schedule a private meeting with me or with Meryl. We can see if, a team might be the right fit for you, or maybe if EXP might be a great option. I say that because EXP has changed our lives, and this isn't going to be an EXP pitch, but I can't go another day without letting people know the benefits that we've had. And actually, Meryl and I are coming up on our 3rd year anniversary with EXP. So we were some of the first people to jump off the cliff, if you will, and join EXP. So we're coming up on our 3rd year anniversary. We're going to be doing a special video. So make sure to check back on our YouTube channel and also on our Facebook about some of the things we've experienced in the past 3 years and what EXP was like 3 years ago and what it's like today. So all of the resources for today's class can be found if you go to bighelpertraining.com. You'll just put in your name and email and you can click the class. It'll take you to my landing page and you can get the resources from today. So for today, though, what I'd really like for you to do is to just take some notes and kind of let it sink in. And I'm really glad that Conrad's on this class today because one of the things I'll let you know is that he and I think a lot alike in terms of how we work with people. So what we're really going to be talking about today, guys, is building an army of advocates. And I put this together, this graph, so it's not super slick, but it is my my high school, ability in terms of putting together a graph real quick on a Google sheet or a Google presentation. This is a true story. So let's go ahead and meet Kathy. Kathy is a client of ours. She actually came in through Zillow. So whether you like Zillow or you hate Zillow, I just play the Zillow game because I know how to work it. So, but if it wasn't Zillow, let's say it's an open house, it doesn't matter. Don't shoot me. So Kathy came in, and Kathy's actually under contract right now on an $800,000 new build, and she's also under contract on a $235,000 investment property. She is so sweet. Like, she's just an amazing person. And she loves us so much. When I say us, I say me and Meryl, my team. Can't leave out Kelsey. Kelsey is the behind the scenes person that keeps everything running, and Valerie as well. I just have an incredible team. So Kathy loves the Big Helper team. She loves Christine, Meryl, and everybody that works for them. So she says, you know what? I'm going to refer you to my son, Mike. So Mike says, hey, I do like you guys. I think you know what you're doing. I would like to buy 4 investment properties. I think we are personally responsible for selling all of Coolidge at this point. So if you're wondering, where can you buy a $200,000 investment property? It's in Coolidge. So Mike buys 4 investment properties. Kathy's still so happy with us, and we're doing a good job. We're doing what we're supposed to do, that she says, you know what? I'm going to introduce you to my other son, Larry and Celine. Consequently, they decide to buy a $700,000 new build. Now, Larry and Celine, they also like us, and Kathy likes us. So we've got grandma, we've got mom and dad said, you know what? I think that you need to meet my daughter, Jennifer and Brian. We would love for them to also buy a home, and we can live near each other here in the East Valley. So Jennifer and Brian buy a $600,000 new build. And then they decide, because Uncle Mike is saying, hey, and Grandma Kathy is like, hey, we just bought these investment properties. We're going to go ahead and buy an investment property as well. Meanwhile, Jennifer has a sister. So again, grandma and parents and sisters say, you guys need to talk to Christine Merrill. So Haley and her soon-to-be husband are also under contract to buy a new home at $335,000. So this is what I'm talking about today, guys. We're talking about the power of having someone advocate for you. What is an advocate, right? Like someone that, that speaks out for you, someone that is, a raving fan. Kathy is a raving fan of ours. And look at what it has brought to our business, right? Like, this doesn't happen by accident, guys. And when I say that I wish I would have known this at the beginning of my business, I always knew I had to give good service. I didn't know how to organize it in a way that made it scalable for me to do this again and again and again and again. So this is a true story, and this is a family that we are currently working with. We've known this family less than a year, okay? So the other thing I get is people say, well, I don't have a sphere, I don't have a database, or I just moved here. None of these people currently live here. They're all moving here. Or actually, Mike's not under contract on a property yet. He's still in California, but that's what I'm saying. Like, anybody can do this. You just have to give good service. So this is why I say, this is how the class got its name. Really, it's all about building an army of advocates, right? Raving fans that use you again and again and refer you business. And it doesn't take a buying cycle or a selling cycle of 3 to 5 years. Although I have to tell you guys, if you sold a home last year, reach out to those people and let them know what their home is worth, because we've got a client right now moving that just purchased 3 months ago. They've got so much equity. They're like, yeah, we don't love it here. We're going to move. It's like, okay. So anyways, this is a picture of a super, super messy desk. And if I could hear you guys, I would hope that I would hear some laughter. So maybe give me a smiley face in the comments or something so that I know that you're catching these jokes. But how I came into the business was that, that looks like my desk. Yikes. So how I came into the business was Meryl was selling real estate. I was actually selling textbooks. I worked with teachers, and I sold textbooks to school districts, and then I trained teachers on how to use those. And I loved the job. I absolutely loved it. But as you know, here in Arizona, we don't have a lot of money for schools. So a lot of times the textbook money was just going away. Meanwhile, Meryl's selling a ton of real estate, and he is just drowning in a desk like this. He's just cranking out real estate with no systems or processes. And he tried to hire a couple assistants, and it was just kind of a mess. And so he's looking at me saying, hey, Christy, do you want to come do you want to come into real estate with me? And that was, honestly, that was scary, guys, right? Like to go, like I had a salary, I had a company car, I had a company phone, a company laptop, a company credit card, 401k, health insurance. So you're thinking, Christy, why on earth would you leave all of that to go into real estate, right? If you've been to any of my classes, you know that I truly, truly believe there is no better career to have than in real estate if you're a working parent. The flexibility that it gives us, you just have to have discipline. So yes, we have tons of flexibility, but you also have to be disciplined. And so I took the leap and I joined Merrill's business. And I remember being so excited about hearing about this database. Like, I'm going to work the database because I knew that Merrill had been selling a ton of homes. So I'm all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed coming out of real estate school. And I'm like, okay, let's work our database. And Merrill's like, I was like, well, just where is it? He's like, I haven't taken the time to organize it. He's like, but I'll get it for you. And I'll never forget, like, he literally handed me, he was like, here's a bunch of stuff from the broker. Here's a bunch of stuff from the lender. I've got some of this in Boomtown. And here's just a bunch of stacks of papers of notes. The guy literally handed me like 5 different things of like where I could get this information. So what was I looking for? I was looking for a first name, last name, phone number, email address, physical address, birthday, and home anniversary. Like I wasn't asking for their blood type or anything, but he was so busy selling real estate for the 3 or 4 years previously that he hadn't taken the time to organize and create a true database, which is an army of advocates. He was just basically like the lowest hanging fruit, selling it, lowest hanging fruit, selling it. And consequently, his goal was to make more money than me. So he was very, very motivated to sell homes really quickly. And those are his words, not mine. So my goal for you guys today is that you will go from messy, unorganized, like not sure where all of these people are, and I don't have phone numbers, and some people I'm connected on social and some I'm not. That's going to go away. And starting today, as if you were a brand new agent, you are going to get organized so that you can seamlessly create an army of advocates. Okay, guys, like that's our goal. I contemplated sharing this with you guys or not sharing it, but I took my client's name out and I feel compelled to share it because I think it really testifies to why I run my business and why my team runs their businesses like we do. So the best thing that you could do, okay, none of this works. Like you can click out of this class if you don't care about people, okay? So let's make that perfectly clear. Everything that I'm going to share with you is because I care about my clients. And I'm not like super social, guys. I'm not like, don't invite me to happy hour and things like that. Like I go home and I want to be with my family, but I care about the people that I'm working with. So if you don't care about people, just exit this class because none of this is going to work if you don't care. So here's what I'm going to share with you guys, and I'll read it, but check out the date on this. This is January 10th. It says, Dear Christine Merrill, it is hard to convey how much I value and appreciate you. You never forget me. The flowers, the memory box, and the card you sent when Mom passed away was absolutely touching. My soul and spirit took a huge dive with her death and COVID. She got COVID recently. Anyways, and so she says she got our Christmas gift we sent her and a birthday card that she recently got. And she said, I felt so alone in December. I always know and feel your true care for me. So I'm sharing this with you because this note that my client wrote me, this is why I do what I do. This is why I build an army of advocates, not just for the referrals. And yes, she has referred me business. And I have a referral tree from this client, but mostly because I care about people. So I hope that sinks in for you guys. Whatever you do, be genuine and truly care. Do what is right no matter what. right? They want to see a 1% commission co-broke home. You show them the home that's paying 1%. I don't care. Do what's right for your client all the time, and you will build an army of advocates, okay? So let's talk about how to get started. I shared this story in the last class that I was talking about, dialing for dollars, and it is absolutely so true. So my uncle, his mom, so it's like through marriage, right? So my aunt's husband's mom. So she's not really related to me, but it's my uncle's mom. She has a home and she had it rented out. She has a ton of equity in her home. And I have been following up with her for years, like ever since I built my database, right? I have been following up with her and giving her market updates and things like that. Well, out of the blue, my uncle calls me and says, hey, mom says we're listing the house this week. And I was like, what? I was like, no, we haven't talked to her. We didn't say that. That's not happening. Come to find out, some person had just randomly cold called her. She thought it was my husband. And she's like, yeah, let's go ahead and list the home. Luckily, we got it all sorted out and that didn't happen. But I share the story with you because if you're not calling your clients, like I'm talking about any lead that you have, your past clients, your sphere, your friends, your family, if you're not talking to them about real estate, someone else is going to. We have over 40,000 agents here in the Valley, like, right? Like, everybody's in the business, it seems like. So take the time to call your clients and to stay in touch. That's the second key to making all of this work. So, gotta figure out how to get those turned off. But okay, so what are you gonna need to do this? It's actually really simple. I don't even need you to spend like money or anything. You're gonna need a social media account. And if you tell me, oh, Christy, I don't like social media, I'm gonna say, get over it, okay? You need to be on social media and you need to be where your people are. So a question that I get asked a lot is, well, do I need to be on Snapchat? Do I need to be on TikTok? Do I need to be on Instagram? You know, the answer is, yeah, like just pick where your people are. I have a huge, like a lot of my sphere is on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm on TikTok, but not really, not yet. I'll get there eventually. I'm not on Snapchat. I am and I'm not, right? Like I have a Snapchat account, but I don't market through Snapchat and I'm missing an opportunity there. Like I know that I am, but I'm trying to do what I can to do three, right? I'm doing Facebook, I'm doing Instagram, and I'm doing YouTube. So that's kind of where I'm at, but you absolutely have to have a social profile and you should have two. You should have your personal account and you should have a business account. The business account is really important because that's where you're going to do a lot of these advertising. So the second thing you're going to need is a CRM. What is a CRM? I could teach a whole class on how to use a CRM appropriately and how to like maximize your use of it. But a CRM is basically a client relation, management software, right? It's like a Rolodex, an electronic Rolodex. So if you're with EXP, you get a KV Core account, which is phenomenal. So you have KV Core as your CRM, or a lot of people I know use Top Producer, Contextually, Follow Up Boss. I use Sierra Interactive. So there's again, that's probably one of the most asked questions of any realtor that comes into the business. What CRM should I use? Message me, and I've tested them all. And I will tell you the pitfalls and the bells and whistles, and I'll even tell you which ones to look at if you're on a budget. So you have to have that because my goal is 80% automation, 20% human time. When you're building your business, anything that you can do to automate is going to make it more scalable as you get busier, and it's going to make it more reliable so it happens again and again and again. But the big piece of that CRM is you've got to be able to do email marketing, especially this past year. Email marketing has really taken off. So if you're not emailing your clients, at least monthly, you're kind of missing an opportunity. So any EMS, email management software, will work. I really like BombBomb. I also like MailChimp. There's a bunch of different ones, but what you're looking for is dynamic emails, right? If you're just sending it from your Google, that's better than nothing. But a dynamic email is the ones that has the links and all of that fancy schmancy stuff that I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to recommend that you get some cards and some stamps, get blank cards from Amazon, super, super inexpensive. You're going to need your phone. We're going to talk about pop buys or drop buys. But most importantly, you're going to need to have an awesome attitude. This is an incredible part of your business to grow. It's one of the easiest because these are people who already know you and like you. You just have to educate them on how to get them to be able to refer you. So let's start though by talking about the different areas of what we're going to be doing with our people. So again, I have this in the handouts, so you'll be able to just kind of look at all of this, and we're going to just generate some ideas. If my class was full, I'd ask you questions, but since I can't ask you a lot of questions, I'm going to give you the answers here. So social media comes in two forms, guys. It comes in a one-to-one form, and it comes into a one-to-many form. So in a one-on-one form, that is private messaging, right? So that's me commenting on someone's, so private messaging, sending a message, or commenting on a post. And a comment is more than 4 words, just so you know. That's how Facebook looks at it. It's more than 4 words. I learned that from a social media guru. So one-on-one social media is really where you're connecting with the person, either in a private message or by commenting and liking on their posts. One-to-many is you just being you, right? That's you posting social media every single week, more than once a week, preferably. So a couple things about social media. Make sure that you are connected on social media with your friends, right? Your family, your clients, make sure you're connected. Invite them to like your business page. And there's a really cool feature on Facebook that before they made the latest version of Facebook, it was actually really easy to segment your friends list. It's a little bit harder now, so you might need to like Google some videos on how to do it. But segment your friends list. So what that looks like is if you're an Arizona realtor and you're one of my friends on Facebook, I kind of have you in a bucket on Facebook that says AZ Realtor. If you're out of Arizona and you're a realtor, I say out of state realtor. If you are a past client, I have you in a bucket as a past client. And then I also have like a local bucket. So maybe you're not a past client and you're not a realtor, but you're local, or you live in my farm, something like that. So that's what I mean when I say segment your friends list on Facebook. It takes forever. There's no easy way to do it because you can't, if you stop, you have to like scroll all the way down to where you stopped and start again. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So, but once you do it, just start moving forward. Every time I accept a friend, I immediately put them into a bucket. So if I accept your friend, I put you into a bucket. Speaking of friends, my friend Tammy Pack, who's an incredible realtor in Fredericksburg, Texas, or Fredericks, Texas. No, it's Fredericksburg. Anyways, it's a small, cute town in Texas. She's the #1 team, the #1 agent there. And she says, you know what? If you're not at 5,000 friends, max your friends out because it's just free advertising, right? Max it out. It's free advertising. So you do want to be adding. And there's a lot of different ways using those friends list. If you want to post something on Facebook and you don't want everybody to see it, you just kind of want it for your own memories and things like that. There's a lot of different ways you can work with that and still be able to post some of your personal life and some of your business life. And by the way, let's not just post business. We've got to have some personal life in there. You want people to get to know you. You want people to feel like you're a friend and that you're easy to refer. And if you're just talking about business, they're going to unfollow you. Like it's just going to happen. So we're going to do some paid posting and we're going to do some not paid posting. Pretty much nowadays, like you got to pay to play. So if you have a really great post, you might want to put a little bit of money behind it and use some custom audience lists. So basically, when I say custom audience, when I'm talking about Facebook, is you can take a list like your past clients, your sphere of influence sphere. You can upload that list into Facebook as long as you have a business ads manager account, and that can be a targeted audience. One of my favorite things to do is to create a lookalike audience to my sphere and tell Facebook, hey, show this to my sphere and create a lookalike audience and show it to them. So similar interests, locations, things like that. So we're going to be doing a little bit of both of just regular posting and some boosted and targeted posts. You're going to do video. in social media. In fact, if you're not on the video board, like if you're not doing video, it's not too late. You just need to start. And there are 4 different types of videos you should really be looking to do. So one is like a behind the scenes. Show them how you get a listing ready. Show them how you get ready for a listing appointment. Show them how you get ready for your buyers. Show them showing homes, right? Like, my favorite ones are like when we show people how hot the lock boxes get in the summer. Like, it's ridiculous. Did you know in other states the lock boxes actually freeze? I thought that was crazy. I was like, it freezes? Crazy. That doesn't happen here. So a behind the scenes look at what you're doing. Market updates. Market updates are some of the easiest videos to do, and the market is changing so fast, you guys, that you should be doing them frequently. Interviews, right? Gary Vaynerchuk says, become the digital mayor of your area. So anything that's local that you can interview, show them your favorite restaurants. Where's your favorite taco place, right? They're opening up a new salad and go, right? Like just videos about what's going on locally. I met someone in my last class. He does videos reviewing local parks, which I think is fantastic, right? Because if you're moving into an area and you want to know what the parks are like, and you can go find this guy and he's got a bunch of videos and they says, hey, do you want to look at homes in this area? So pretty cool. And then make sure that so with Facebook and social media, you want to re-upload your custom audience every single month because it's going to change, right? You're going to add new people, things like that. So that is social media. You're looking for 22 or more touches a month. Not a month, a year, sorry. 22 or more touches from social media each year. So now we're going to talk about email marketing. I really should figure out how to turn off my notifications. I think I can put it to sleep, right? Notifications. Isn't there a way to do that? Do not disturb. Let's see if that works. Sorry, guys. I'm working off of 2 screens. Siri, quit.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Well, if anybody can tell me how to get rid of Siri up there, just let me know. Because I can't figure it out and I don't want to disconnect everything. So, okay, we'll go back to here. There, it went away. Yay. Okay, so hopefully my notifications go away and we've got that. Okay, so let's talk about email marketing. Email marketing is pretty simple, guys. We're just really looking for 21 touches and you can do it simple, right? So we're talking maybe 12 market updates. I would prefer video, right? You can go live on Facebook if that's the easiest. Then it doesn't have to be something that's produced. It's pretty easy to do. I really we have been doing some fun stuff where we'll just find a funny video, a funny TikTok video or something like that, and we'll share it with our sphere, or we'll kind of do a recap email where we take, when COVID first hit, I was interviewing a lot of different teachers because we were all homeschooling for the first time. And so we started sending out a lot of those emails and videos and kind of almost like a wrap up to just help people stay in touch. But the most important thing, and that's why it's in red, the most important thing that you can do with your database is to make sure that they are getting 4 CMAs. Okay, guys, that's quarterly. Once a quarter, you are updating them on the market value of their home. So to scale that, I use Cloud CMA, and Cloud CMA is part of our MLS. You can do what's called a quick and dirty. So what I would do is I would do 1 CMA, like a real, true, custom CMA. And then I would do 3 quick and dirties. And a quick and dirty is really more like a neighborhood update. And I created canned emails in my Gmail. So if you don't know what a canned email is, you're definitely going to Google that because it's one of the best tools you can use in your business. If you find yourself writing the same email over and over again, guys, then create a template, or it's called a canned email in Gmail. Everyone can do it. You just might have to change your settings a little bit to be able to activate it. But I promise you, it'll save you a ton of time. So I created these canned emails that I could send out with my quick and dirty CMAs, which were more like neighborhood updates. So I'm doing one real CMA on how much their home is appreciated in the past year. And then I'm doing 3 market updates that I send out with a canned email. So I don't even have to write anything. I just push a button and connect it and it goes out. That alone changed my business. People want to know what the value of their home is. They absolutely want to know. Now, one of my favorite tools that I am using now, so I'm no longer using my custom CMAs and my quick and dirty CMAs. I'm using a product called HomeBot, and HomeBot is incredible. I've been using it for over 2 years, and the engagement that I get with HomeBot is just through the roof. So you might want to Google HomeBot, find a lender that you can connect with, because it's actually a lending tool, but it's very, very cool. And you want every single person that you know that owns a home to be getting a HomeBot email from you every single month. So that's something that we do in terms of part of our email marketing. Okay, direct mail. I'm a big fan of direct mail. I shared with you guys that picture of the card that my client sent back to me. That's because I send her cards. So she gets birthday cards, she gets home anniversary cards. We do a 4th of July letter. We call it a letter from the heart. And basically it's like almost like a Christmas card, but they get it in July, and it's updating them about our family. And it's kind of funny. We let them know some of the silly things that are going on with our family, and what it is it's a pattern interrupt, right? Everybody sends Christmas cards. If you're not, you should send Christmas cards. It's one of the easy ones that you can do. But we also send a 4th of July card. So I worked with an agent before that would send a monthly newsletter updating on the hikes that he took and some of the fun stuff. And I thought that was a great idea because a lot of his sphere like to hike and camp and do those kind of things. So if you're really into something, share it with people and connect with them on that level. So basically, you're just looking to connect with them, 6 to 12 times. I also have coaching clients that will send out something every single month, and they kind of get into a pattern. It's almost like quarterly. They rotate through a cycle. So like what's happening local, maybe a testimonial, and then they'll do like, just something every single month. My philosophy is make it easy. Right? So if you're going to send something to your database, just make it easy so that you can do it. Because the more complicated you make these things, the less likely you are going to be able to do it. But it's always easy to send birthday cards. That's 2 right there. I send them to everybody that lives in the house. Everybody in the house gets a birthday card, plus they get the home anniversary card. And then because I'm connected with them on social, if I see like my friend, her mom passed away, and we immediately sent her a card and some flowers, right? So kind of just if someone has a baby, or if their kid's graduating from college or high school or something like that, just kind of pay attention and celebrate with them. And if they have an anniversary, then jot that down as well, and you can celebrate with them on their next anniversary. So you just want to kind of keep things timely. I've got clients that also send out coupons to local things that are happening. So they'll send those out to their A clients, if you will. There's not anything wrong that you can send, right? It's just a matter of doing it. We can't forget the phone. So another channel of communication would be the phone, and you're looking for more than 4 touches, right? So we're talking birthday check-ins, quarterly check-ins, home anniversary, market updates, just call and say hi, right? I'm going to show you how to make this doable so that it can happen. Because remember, if you're not calling or texting your clients, then someone else is. Another channel of communication that we tend to do a lot of is when we could get together, we would do client appreciation events, right? So we like to cook for our friends and family and our clients. So we would do breakfast at the park, and my whole team and I would get in, we would cook. We've done carne asada, we've cooked, like it's kind of fun. I've even done a petting zoo. So we had a barbecue and brought in a petting zoo, and we cooked for all of our clients. We even have them cook for us sometimes. We did an event once where we did a dessert contest. It was really fun. So everybody brought a dessert, and could you imagine how reckless and dangerous we were back in the day? I don't know what that'll look like in the future. But I do know that we'll continue to do events for our clients and as safely as possible. So you can also do face-to-face, right? You should get face-to-face, not literally, but that means like in the same room, see the whites of their eyes, see their mask. You should get face-to-face with your clients, and especially the ones that are your best clients, right? So we also do pop buys or drop buys. We've been doing more drop buys with the pandemic, so we just drop something off at their door. We're going to talk about ideas for that, but honestly, the best thing you could do is just go to Pinterest. Pinterest has hundreds and hundreds of ideas. You will not be at a loss for ideas. Movies in the park, pumpkin pie giveaway, Thanksgiving giveaway, Easter egg giveaway, flags in the 4th of July. There's like so many different things that you can do. Just be creative, be fun. I am going to this year, I got this idea from somebody else, but I'm going to go ahead and celebrate like weird holidays. Like apparently there's like a National Hot Sauce Day, and I got to figure out what day that is. Hopefully it hasn't already passed, but if it did, I'll find another silly holiday. You know how there's like today's National Donut Day, and right? So I'm going to find some of these silly holidays, and we'll do some pop-bys around silly holidays just for fun. We've also really done Amazon a lot too. So I Amazon drop things to my clients all the time. Like if you're having a baby, case of diapers, case of wipes, like all the time. And they appreciate it. And you can just put a little note in there. So if you don't have a lot of time, just think Amazon. Amazon is a fantastic, especially if you're a Prime member, it's free shipping anyways. You can still deliver a wow, even if you are not like driving around delivering wows. You can ship a wow. And here's the cool thing. When I started my business, there was no such thing as like Grubhub and, all these places where you could like order food and have it delivered. Oh my gosh, that was like not a thing when we started our business. And it's so cool. I've got a client that just referred me her granddaughter. And so I had Cinnaholic just Grubhub to her house, and she was actually we did a crumble for her, so she got crumble and absolutely loved it. Our kids swim instructor got COVID, and so we had Cinnaholic delivered to their house, and they loved it. Like it's such a simple thing. So I put that in the face-to-face because it almost does count as face-to-face when you go above and beyond and have cookies or cinnamon rolls or something else that, is super fun delivered to their house. You're going to get a call, you're going to get a text message, and they're really going to appreciate you. Okay, so now I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to put all of this into place. Okay, so what I have here that I'm sharing with you is just for the purposes of, I would normally write this on a whiteboard or something like that. But since we're here together in StreamYard and Facebook and YouTube, wherever you're tuning in from, I'm going to use this. So I want to go over a couple things. First, let's talk about the definition of what is your database. So we're talking about database in terms of a lead pillar. Okay, a lead pillar. So for us, we're talking about past clients, your center of influence or your sphere of influence, whatever you call it, your friends and your family. Pretty much anybody that if they would buy and sell real estate, then you're going to use them. In the resources, I have a link to what we call a memory jogger. And so it's basically going to go through and share with you like all the different places you can think of these people, like your hairdresser, your accountant, your dry cleaner. My dad was like best friends with the people at Circle K. I'm like, I need to get to know the people at Circle K when I go get my Polar Pop, because maybe they want to buy real estate, actually kind of funny. So I would say, I'll share that story in a minute. There's nobody here to like keep me on track. It's just me and the internet. So if I wander, chime in on Facebook and say, get back to topic, Christy. So for the purpose of when I say we're going to be working our database, we're talking about a database lead pillar. Some people always say your database as your CRM, which is also not inaccurate, right? I have 16,000 people in my database, which is my CRM. I use Sierra Interactive. And so, yes, QuickTrip. Actually, I did stop by QuickTrip on the way to the forum. I need to get to know those guys. So that was probably Conrad. So database could mean your CRM, but we're talking about this as a lead pillar. And so I want you to be thinking past clients, friends and family, sphere of influence, circle of influence, like that kind of stuff. Basically, people you already know who know and like you. I will also say that if you have somebody in your list and you say, oh, I don't want to talk to that person, take them out of your list. They should not be in the list. This list, because you saw some of the things we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing pop-bys. We're going to be writing handwritten notes. We're going to be sending birthday cards and all this other fun stuff. And if you don't like that person, it's going to come off as disingenuous, and it's not going to help you. You're just wasting your money. So the people in this list should be people that you do like and that you do want to cultivate a deeper, meaningful relationship with. So that's my soapbox of you got to care about the people in this list. Okay, so NAR has done lots of studies around this, and you can Google it. Basically, they're saying if you work, which is I'm showing you what to do, if you work your database, you should expect around a 10% turnover rate or yield, meaning 10% of your database will go ahead they will either refer you or use you again, but it doesn't happen by accident. It has to happen on purpose. Okay, is it better to do this in a spreadsheet than KV Core or another database? That's a really great question, and I'm all about simplicity. Legitimately, I'm about simplicity. So I am going to share. If you looked at the resources, I do have a Google spreadsheet that I keep everybody in, but everybody is in KV Core, which is my Sierra Interactive. So I would not purchase another program or a different software. The only reason I have them in a Google Sheet like this is because it's easier for me to see everybody at once and look at a couple different things. So the reason they're in KV Core is because I log all my calls, all my reminders are in KV Core. Birthday reminders could even go in KV Core. The reason I have them in my spreadsheet is for when I need to update things and to just kind of make sure. I'll talk about it in a minute of closing protocol. So in my opinion, it is not worth it to go put your database in a different client relations management software like Top Producer or something like that, because you do all your lead follow-up, and if you're not, you should be out of your CRM. So you can keep them together, but I do think it's wise to have, especially if you're going to you may outgrow KV Core someday, right? It would be nice if you had your database in a spreadsheet. So I do keep a spreadsheet, and they're all in my CRM, and almost everything I do is in my CRM. My spreadsheet's my backup. So, okay. So 10%, right? I would say get to 100 as soon as possible. If you don't have 100 people in there, get to 100 as soon as possible. Meet the people at QuickTrip. Become friends with them and add them to your database as a lead pillar. So then you can systematically follow up with them and encourage them to either purchase real estate with you or refer you. So the other thing that's really important when you are, and this is in relation to KV Core or whatever CRM you're using, you want to have some categories of people. So you've probably heard of people say, hey, is that an A client, a B client, a C client? I just have different terminology. So my terminology is we're looking for promoters. What's a promoter? A promoter is a raving fan, okay? Kathy, that I shared with you at the beginning of class, she's a promoter. She's telling everybody. She's telling her whole entire family. I'm pretty sure she'll tell all of California. And then we will be personally responsible for all of California moving to Arizona because they like us. And that you may hate that. I get so many mixed comments about California. Don't California my Arizona. These people are really nice. You guys would like them. So they're promoters. They're raving fans. I will tell you, it's hard to get a raving fan, right? You have to do a really good job. You have to know your stuff, and you have to be just on top of your game, following up, doing what you say you're going to do, which is all stuff you should do as a realtor anyways. But they also have to be pretty outspoken. So the story that I was going to tell earlier was I went to get a facial, and my mom had gone just before me. And it was so funny because I'd never met with this person before. And so I lay down on the table, and the first thing out of the technician's mouth was, she says, "Oh, so you're a realtor?" I was like, "Yes, I am." My mom had just told her and had told her all about my business. And so I kind of joke like, your mom is probably a raving fan. Your mom is going to tell everybody, right? Like, and if it's not your mom, it's your sister, your best friend. You have a raving fan already. You just need to identify them and then give them the skills and the insight to help you. So it was so funny because I had never met this person, but they knew who my mom was. And the moment I mean, she knew all about my business, even how many kids I had. Like, she probably knew a little too much. Thanks, Mom. But, it's awesome, and able to add that person to my network now and build that relationship and take her from somebody that I don't know and kind of put her in as maybe one of these other categories. So raving fans, you're probably not going to have a ton of them, but what would your business look like if you had a lot of raving fans? So apparently SoCal is Conrad's hood, right? We're going to convert all of them. We just need a beach here, like a really nice one. I do love Arizona way more than California. So, okay. The next one is a follower. So what is a follower? A follower is someone who's engaged, right? So that means like if you sent them a text, they might respond. If you comment on their Facebook post, they might comment back. Like they're engaged. They respond to your stuff. They might pick up your phone calls and things like that. You'll probably have a lot of followers. And then we have our slackers. Believe it or not, like I have so many slackers in my database, and it's totally okay if you're a slacker in my database. What it means is you just don't engage a lot, right? I'm probably a slacker in someone else's database. Like maybe, the guy from Jake from State Farm, right? Like I'm probably a slacker in Jake from State Farm's database because I don't respond to the birthday card he sends me. I don't respond to, the other things that he sends me, but I know who he is. It's actually not with State Farm. He's with Fidelity Mutual. I don't know. He does stuff with my 401k, but his name is Jake. So he is winning. I'm a slacker in his database. I'm a total slacker. I'm not engaged. Like I don't respond, but I know who he is. And when I need help managing my 401k, I go talk to him, right? That's the same. Okay. I have so many past clients that are slackers. They don't respond, they don't engage, but they call when they need to sell their home or they want to refer somebody. So it's okay to have slackers in your database. And then if you're in KV Core and you just got like an open house lead or something, like they're probably not in this lead pillar yet. It would be awesome to get them into this lead pillar. They're just not there yet. So these I would use as tags in your CRM. And it's more for you because we're going to start to build out like when you do things. And one thing you will notice is you have a finite amount of time, right? Like you don't have enough time to go face to face with every single person in your database, especially if you have a really large database. So you're going to have to prioritize who you do face to face with, right? Is it your promoters and your followers? And maybe you don't do face to face with your slackers, or maybe once, a quarter, you focus on your slackers and try to get them up to a follower. And so you focus on face-to-face with slackers to get them to a follower status. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's why it's important to, know where they're at in terms of their engagement level with you, your content, and your business. Okay. So here's, if you're at home and you've got your laptop open and you want to do this, like go for it. Otherwise, just follow along and we'll build out what this could look like. So the channel over here, this is what we're talking about here is what kind of communication, right? What kind of communication are we going to do? Now, I already gave you all the answers. Again, if you guys were here in class with me, we would just I'd ask you different channels and frequency, but you're not here. So I'm giving you the answers. And let's start with calls. Calls and text. Now, nothing's better than a call. Like legitimately, calls are good, but I also know people don't answer their phones. So I want you to be real with yourself. Like don't text when you should call, but if a text is what your client does, then text. Hopefully that makes sense. Like Don't be lame and send a text when your client actually does pick up the phone for you. So calls and texts, that's the channel of communication. And the frequency, we already said, should be a minimum of 4 times a year. So I'm just going to put 4 times as a minimum. And then, hit me up on Facebook. What do we call about? Why would I call my client 4 times a year? Text, video. Yes, video texts are amazing. So if you're not doing video text, I highly encourage you to do that. So if I'm going to call my new friend from Quick Trip 4 times a year, or text or video text, am I just like, hey, can I have a referral? I'm pretty sure that person would stop answering my calls or my text messages. So what you want to do is you want to call them on their birthdays, right? You want to call them on their home anniversary. You want to call to just invite them to the next thing that you're doing, right? Like, be very topical and very engaging, right? I called a lot of my database when we started homeschooling just to say, like, hey, how are you doing? Anything working, not working? What should, here's what we're doing, right? Like, these are people that you don't mind talking to, even if it's in a video text or a phone call. So that's the what is, don't be afraid of what, just connect. Like, that's really what it is. There are scripts. Brian Buffini has a bunch. Tom Ferry has a bunch. I am a very firm believer in scripts, but when I'm talking to my database, it's just a conversation. Like, legitimately, it's a conversation. I'm not following a script. So it's very, very simple. And if I were to role play with you, I would ask Conrad, hey, how are things going? And then he would ask me, oh, hey, what have you been up to? And I would say, oh my gosh, Conrad, the market's insane. It's seriously insane. Listed a property, got 15 offers on it, like the first day. Oh my gosh, I've got like 5 buyers, then there's no inventory, right? So I would just start talking about the market a little bit. And then, of course, I'd ask him about him and things like that. So when I'm talking to my database, I'm just chilling. We're having a conversation. Real estate always comes up, but I don't say, I don't use the script. Hey, Conrad, this is Christy, and I'm just calling on a professional capacity, and I'm just wondering, do you have a minute? Right? Who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate in the next, right? Like, that's not me. If it's you, awesome. And it does work for a lot of people. So I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just not me. Okay, we talked about snail mail as a channel, and the frequency, I just want to see 6+ times in your what you're doing. And what do you snail mail? We talked about it. Happy birthday cards, home anniversary cards, maybe a testimonial. Right now, guys, is a fantastic time to do a social proof piece. So what is a social proof piece? A social proof piece could be like, maybe take a testimonial that you got and pair it with the picture of a house, and then share that and tell the story of how you helped that person. Tell the story of what you did to get that buyer the winning contract. Tell the story of what you did to help that seller sell. People are interested in stories, true stories, of course. And so don't be afraid to share the stories of how you do what you do, because people don't really know. They think we're just like, it's like HGTV, right? Every buyer shows up pre-qualified. You show them 3 homes, they write an offer, gets accepted. It is not like HGTV, guys, especially if you're representing buyers right now, right? Like, it's insanity to represent a buyer right now. You definitely want to be on the listing side. You definitely want to come to my Dialing for Dollars class so you can learn how to get your own listings. So that's snail mail. We talked about email. Email should be going out at a minimum, right? So you're going to have access to this spreadsheet. You're going to copy and make it into your own, and you're going to build out your plan. But it should be, at least 12 times. Preferably, it's a video, right? We talked about pop buys or drop buys. I like to do pop buys and drop buys 4 times a year for my promoters, and then maybe 2 times for my followers. And then I tend to lean heavier on face-to-face in a 1-to-many, right? So 1-to-many might be a small, like I said, we've done all sorts of really fun stuff. Parties at the park and, so many fun barbecues and things like that when time permits. So for now, you might just be doing 1-to-1, like maybe small luncheons and things like that. So that's a part of it. Definitely social media. right? Social media is going to be a huge part of what you do. And don't forget, you've got to go one-to-one on social media, and you have to go one-to-many. One-to-many is you just posting. Like if you're not posting on social media, you're really missing the mark. So that's social media. Let's jump back over, see if I missed anything, because that's like events. So we did direct mail, we did email marketing, we did social media, we did phone conversations and face-to-face. Okay, so that's pretty much almost all of the channels that we're going to do. But now what I want to do is I want to show you, like, here is the game changer for you guys, okay? The game changer is, how do I make this scalable so that I can do it consistently all the time? So that's right over here. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you guys so that you can see it a little bit better. There we go. You should have told me earlier. I would have done it earlier. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to think of your database in 3 groups, okay? 3 groups. And I'm going to use the example of, let's say that you had 75 people. So I'm just going to put a, like, let's just say that your database had 75 people in it. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to take those 75 people and I want to put them into 3 different groups, and they're going to be called geographic groups, right? So for me, that's like my Gilbert, my North Chandler, North Gilbert group, my South Chandler, South Gilbert group, and then maybe my Queen Creek Santan group, right? Like we're talking geographic groups, because some of the things that you do, like if you're going to set up face-to-face stuff, you should definitely, you know, if I'm going to be in Tempe, I'm going to go ahead and connect with all my Tempe peeps and see if they want to get lunch, or, you know, they want to stop at the QT and get a Diet Coke. I don't drink coffee, so that would be funny. It's like, hey, you want to meet at Sonic? Let's get a Diet Cherry Limeade. So, so geographically, you want them. It doesn't need to be perfect. Most of mine are very similar when I lay it out, but I do have some clients in Glendale, and I don't have a special Glendale geographic group. I just put them into one of my other groups, and I know that they're like a one-off, right? And I probably would just Amazon them, to be perfectly honest. I don't, like, you know, for my clients that are on the west side, we just Amazon drop ship stuff. I don't pop by or drop by their house unless I'm in the area and it makes sense, and that's where we meet up at QT or Sonic, right? If you're Merrill's, then you would meet up at Lynn's Buffet, because that's what he likes. I don't like Lynn's Buffet. I don't like buffets. Gross to me. So, okay. So 3 geographic groups. Don't overthink it. It's just geographic groups. So that's, you know, you're going to want to do that. Put them as a tag in your CRM. So if Christy was in Conrad's CRM, I would be definitely a raving fan. And then I probably would be geographic group 1, right? Like I would have 2 tags. So he would easily be able to identify me in KV Core as what type of database member am I and what geographic group am I in. You cannot have too many tags in your CRM. Like legitimately. I have tags for all sorts of things. Loves dogs, loves ASU, golf fan, right? Like just swimmer. I mean, just any type of tag that, you know, Queen Creek. So I'll geographically like put Queen Creek, South Gilbert, North Chandler, those kind of things, so that when I see something topical, right, like the Salad and Go that's opening up over here, I can grab all of my database that's in that area and say, hey guys, did you know there's a new Salad and Go opening up, right? Like something like that. So, so that's the second part that you're going to do that. It doesn't matter how many raving fans, promoters, and slackers you have in each of them. It doesn't matter their category. What matters is their geographical group. And then you might have some one-offs to keep your group similar. So now the next thing I want you to be thinking about is we're working our database quarterly, right? If my goal is to get 4 calls to everybody in a year, that's quarterly, right? So I want you to be thinking in terms of month 1, month 2, month 3, or January, February, March, April, May, June, right? There's 3 months in a quarter. And so you'll be able to just rinse and repeat every single quarter. But like when this clicks for you guys, you're going to see how easy this is. So there are certain things that everybody gets, right? We already talked about that. That is email. Everybody should be getting email once a month from you in the form of a video or something fun that, they can get it. If you do more than one email a month, awesome. But at a minimum once. The other thing that everybody should be getting is social media in the terms of one to many, right? So that happens every single month. And so I'm just going to just copy that into the other 2 months. So everybody gets email. Everybody gets one to many social media, because that's you being active on social media. Hopefully that makes sense. So now I'm going to take another channel of communication and drop it into my plan. And I'm going to say, you know what? Calls and text messages are a must. They have to happen. Okay. So we're going to do call/text. So in January, I'm going to call and text everybody in Geographic Group 1. Pop quiz. I said that my group had 25 people or 75 people in it. So that's only 25 calls, right? So I know now, right? Or if it was 100 people, that's like 33 or 34 calls, right? So now I know I just, who do I call from my database in January? I'm calling this group. It's super, super simple. Then I'm going to say, okay, in the second month of the quarter, I'm going to call Geographic Group 2. And then the third month, I'm going to call Geographic Group 3. Rinse and repeat. Now, every single person in Group 1 gets called 4 times a year. And it's very simple, because now, rather than calling 75 people in a month, I'm only calling 25, 25, and 25. That's why we divide it by 3 for many reasons. So now I'm going to take a different form of communication, and I'm going to do Popeyes, because I actually really do love Popeyes. And again, that would be 25 Popeyes. So what I could do is I could even maybe I do 25 Popeyes, or maybe I do a hybrid of Popeyes and some face-to-face, right? So I'll do 20 Popeyes, and then I'm going to try to do 5 face-to-face. So 1 a week, or 1, 2, somewhere around there. So it can be a hybrid of it, but you have a target list, right? So, you would say, okay, I'm going to pick 4 promoters and do 1 a week face-to-face coffee meeting, QT meeting. And you would probably get through most of your promoters in a year, meeting with them face-to-face if you did that. And then they would also get 3 other Popeyes. So it's, you can do a combination, or you can just do straight out Popeye, right? So on Popeyes, I am all about, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to alternate my Popeyes so that we're not doing the same group in the same month. Get 1 Popeye and use it for all 3 months, right? Don't recreate the wheel. Get something that's simple that you can use again and again and again. And it doesn't have to be expensive. So my budget for Popeyes is somewhere between $3 and $5. And you can do a lot of things for $3. So don't feel like, that's not very much. We keep it simple. One of my favorites that we did is we bought a bag of those donuts, Hostess, like a little white bag of Hostess donuts. And we created these cute tags that said, do not worry about the market. Big Helper Group's got you covered. And that was fun. And we just dropped donuts off at doors, right? We've done cereal boxes. We've done chocolates. You can do chocolates right now, but not in the summer. It's a disaster. So yeah, I made that mistake. Chocolate covered pretzels don't last in April. It was too hot. So done lots of fun different things, and just keep it simple. Apparently we like to do a lot of food, but you don't have to do food. You can do other fun stuff. So Popeyes is one that I personally really encourage. And then I'm going to pick one more, and we're going to call it snail mail. So we're going to do snail mail, and I'm going to do a hybrid of snail mail and social media one-on-one. So here, what I'm doing is I'm going to strategically connect. Like if your birthday is in that month, then I'll send you snail mail. If your birthday's not in that month, then I might connect with you on social media. But the idea is I now have in 1 month connected with my entire database. I either commented on a post or a private message you, sent you a handwritten card. I either did a pop by or I called or texted you. Plus you got a video email and you're seeing everything that I'm doing on social media, including my paid posts to my target audience. Then the next month, I just do the same thing, but to a different group. So again, Christy's in Conrad's geographic group 1. He calls me in January. He messages me on Facebook and or comments on one of my posts in March. And then he drops a pop by or ships Amazon drop ships something to my house, in the month 3. And then it starts again. He's going to text me in April, right? Then maybe we get together for lunch in May, right? And then another pop by the month after that. So it's very repeatable and it breaks it down. Even if your database was 100 people, that would only be 33 calls, 34 handwritten notes. And again, pop buys, I don't do a pop by for everybody. Because one, some people are just geographically too far away and it's not going to happen. And two, budget constraints, right? You might not have a budget to be able to do 33 or 34 pop buys. So you can take a pop by and partner it with, maybe you do pop buys and one-on-one social media, right? So you take something that costs money and pair it with something that doesn't cost money. So that entire segment, group 2, is still getting touched, but they're getting touched in a sweat equity way and a check equity way, either or. And then you could just keep track of who got a pop by from geographic group 2 and who didn't, because you're going to have 4 opportunities to give them one, right? So you can get creative, but this part right here, guys, this is where you really need to take some time after today and say, okay, what are the channels of communication that I'm going to use to work my database and my sphere so that I can have an example like Christy gave with all of those. I didn't even count. We should go back and count how many transactions that is. Because this is how it happens. This is the system that I use. This is the exact system that I use. And you've got to map this out, right? So step 1, you're going to use your CRM. You're going to go in and you're going to put your categories together. Who are my raving fans? Who are my followers? Who are my promoters, my followers, and my slackers? And maybe an NA if they're just like a random online lead or open house lead that's not developed into one of these. Right? And the goal is to get your slackers into followers and your followers into promoters. And how we do that is by having this grid. Now, here's the best part of this. You're busy. And if you're not busy, you want to be busy and you should be busy. So when agents are busy, they tend to stop doing the things that got them busy, right? They tend to stop making their calls. They tend to stop prospecting and things like that. So that's why this grid is so important, because even if I only have 20 minutes, I jump into KV Core and it's February. So I come in here and I segment KV Core and say, show me geographic group 2. And I can see really quickly the 33 people, the 40 people, the 5 people, whoever. I don't know how many people are going to be in your groups. And I make those calls. So I can still, as a busy agent, make my calls and my text messages in KV Core by segmenting, right? I don't feel the overwhelm of, I'm not sure who I could call. I don't want to overcall people, right? Like there's just so many excuses about why people call and don't call, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So this is super important. Once you have this printed out, put it up in front of you, and then start to plan towards it, because that's really going to help you. So you may have questions about this. And if you do, you can message me, you can text me, you can Facebook message me, things like that. But okay, so I said, first things first, you have to use some form of technology, because the technology is also going to trigger you when it's their birthday and different things like that. So technology, CRM, super important. I also use my Google Calendar. So when I get a client's birthday, I put it in my Google Calendar. I don't rely on memory. It's in my Google Calendar. It's also in my spreadsheet, and it's in my CRM. So we're covered. The other thing I would say is, if you've been to my time blocking class, then you've heard me talk about days by design. Strategically working your database can be done daily, or you can chunk it, right? You can say, like for me, Fridays is my database day, actually. It's the day that I strategically look at my database and say, okay, who am I calling? Things like that. So a day by design might make it a little bit more simple, is that you plan on Wednesday mornings, I do pop buys. And if I'm not doing a pop by, then I make my calls. And if I'm not making my calls, then I write my letters, right? So you could take every Wednesday for an hour, and you're either delivering a pop by, right? Think of your channels, writing handwritten notes or connecting on social media, and or making your calls, right? Or working on your email that's going to go out to the entire database, right? How simple would that be if every single week you had a 1 hour block that you worked on your database and you worked out of those channels in those blocks? It makes it very scalable. So that's why I said, make it easy for yourselves, guys. Repeat. If you've got a great pop buy it in bulk. Sit down, watch a movie, create them, and then just keep that stuff in your car, and you just keep, every single month, who you're giving it to. I also, have to say, don't overthink it. So many agents get caught up in just the minutia. Just go and do it, right? Just make some calls. Not sure what to say? Just have a conversation. I'm sure you know how to have a conversation, right? Just keep it simple and don't overthink it. You're just building relationships. You do want to track your business though. That's really important. I do track the referrals that I get. One, so that I can thank my client and let them know that I did receive the referral and I'm taking care of that, that person that they referred to me, but also because you want to see what works, right? You want to see what works. Something super funny happened to me and Meryl, a couple years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, 2 Christmases ago. We were delivering our big pop buy for the year, I think we probably had 70 pop buys that we were doing. It was a bigger pop buy. And I delivered one, and the guy had no idea who I was. I know who he was. And we're having a conversation, and then all of a sudden he clicks, he goes, "Oh, Christy." 3-minute conversation. He had no idea who I was. And so because we track our business, I went back, I was like, you know what? We hadn't had a phone conversation in a really long time. He had been, he was a slacker. He was in the slacker field. He was getting our birthday cards. He was getting our home anniversary. He was getting our messages, but he obviously wasn't watching our videos because he did not recognize me. And so we decided to change it up a little bit. And our birthday cards and home anniversary cards are not branded towards us. We don't want it to feel like a sales pitch. We want it to feel genuine. I'm wishing you happy birthday. And so what we did is we went back and we took silly photos. So Meryl and I took silly photos, and we're holding sign, happy birthday. This year I'm holding my hands out in the picture like this. And we had photoshopped big cakes and streams and banners. So now what we're doing is we're putting silly pictures in the cards that we're sending, so that when I show up at your house to deliver something, you remember what I look like. But that's why we track our business. How many calls did we get, right? Guys, as good as I am, I'll tell you, as good as, when I say that we're good, we do this stuff, we still lose business. So can you imagine if over 50% of my business comes from repeat and referral, and I still lose clients? Obviously, you can't be doing this too much. I just had a Christmas card returned to me, and he moved. Didn't use us, which was really sad because he actually had used us several times. I'm sure that some agent was just there when he decided to say yes. So, even the best of us, we can lose business. So you don't want that to happen to you. And that being said, you can't overdo it. So track your business. The next thing that is super, super important. So I started this class out telling you how Meryl gave me all of his garbage, essentially, like to try to figure out how to organize our database. And I started by putting it in the spreadsheet. So now we have a closing protocol. And closing protocol is, and if you've taken my systems class, I talk about closing protocol. Closing protocol is where every time we close a client, we make sure certain things happen. One, they get put in the right, are they a promoter, a follower, or a slacker, right? We send them a link to review us on Google and Zillow and Facebook, right? I kind of let them choose. Although with everything that's going on with Zillow right now, you probably want to over-index on Google reviews. And we make sure that they get put, geographic group. Are they in geographic group 1, 2, or 3? Right? Like all of these things need to happen because it does us no good if we're not adding new people to this database. Like if I sell a home and then they don't get put into the system and, and then also that a survey goes out. So my closing protocol kind of kicks off to make sure their birthdays go into the calendar, that their home address gets put into HomeBot, and they're right, like all of the things that we're doing, they get enrolled when you close a client, close of escrow, they get enrolled into the Big Helper, database marketing plan, which is important part of continuing because some people are going to move out of state. So you will lose, or they just randomly moved with another agent, right? And so you need to be adding new people and you need to be keeping track. One of the things that we like to do is we do like to send a survey to our clients, just like a Google survey, like a Google form, so I don't spend money on it. It's a free thing. But we do want to know, like, what are your favorite flowers and what's your favorite chocolate and your favorite drink and favorite sports and, just kind of fun stuff. So that way when we have an opportunity to do something custom for them, then we can and deliver it that way. So you want to map it out. That grid that I showed you, make it simple for yourself, make it scalable and repeatable. Don't overthink it. Like almost everything that I'm using is free or very inexpensive on how we're nurturing our database to get more referrals. So let's end this class. It's actually going to end early. Holy cow. We're going to end this, or maybe it's not 9:30. I guess it's not ending early. Never mind. So what is the playbook that I use? The first thing is you've got to get in the right mindset. Okay, guys? So many people, I could screenshot a text message that I got last week that says, I'm not afraid to call for sale by owners, yet I'm petrified to call my database. And I'm like, why? These people already know you and like you. When she texted me back and she said, because, I haven't spoken to them in 3 years. And I said, okay, that makes it even more fun, right? Then you call and you'd be like, hey, this is Christy. Do you remember me? I sold you a house 3 years ago. And they're going to say no. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally failing. Guess what? I want to do better. That's why I'm calling, right? Like, own up to it. If you haven't talked to them in a long time, own up to it and just let them know. One of my goals for 2021 is that I want to do a better job connecting with, my friends and my clients and just kind of being there as a support tool for you. If you ever need a referral for landscaping, pest control, pool, right? Like that's what we do. The home is the center of the life. And you guys, we know all those people. We know the best home people to do everything. So why not be in the hub of your clients' referral needs for when it comes to landscapers and pool people and pest control, remodeling a kitchen, things like that. So know your value. When you know your value, it's going to be easy to call. Get over the fear. Just call. Have a conversation. And that really comes down to, do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Right? A growth mindset says, yes, I'm going to do better. I know that I sucked in the past, but I'm going to do better and I'm going to improve, even if it's just 1% every single day. So have a growth mindset, believe that this can be a huge part of your business, and then do the work. So the second part of the playbook is you got to care, right? Like if you don't care about these people, why will they care about you and helping you in your business? So the more authentic you can be, like all of our clients know that we drive a small bus. Like they've seen the Big Helper Mobile. It's a huge 12-passenger white van and we laugh about it, right? Like we totally laugh about it because it's our family. Like they know, right? And then if they want to like drive with us, I tell them, I'm like, I need notice because I can't have you sitting on one of those chairs and having a gummy bear stick to your butt, right? Like fruit snacks stick to clothes. I don't want you to sit on a bunch of goldfish. So I would love for you to drive with me, but I've got to go through the car wash real quick, right? We joke about it with our clients. They know. In fact, when we had our adoption party, when we adopted our kiddos, we threw a big party, and the vast majority of the people that were there celebrating our family with us was our clients. Like, it was so fun that they went through that journey with us. Most importantly, solve problems. Okay. If your clients are struggling with, making their mortgage payment right now, right? Like, maybe they've, connect them with a lender, see if they should be refinancing right now. See, what can be done for forbearance. Like, no, we're not forbearance specialists and refinancing specialists, but we know people. One of my coaching clients in Colorado, I'm so proud of her right now. Several of her clients are out of work, and she's going through connecting, right? She's like, who do I know that's an engineer? Who do I know that's this? Like, she's trying to connect her clients to get jobs. That's not going to benefit her right now. But why is she doing it? Because she's trying to solve problems and because she cares. That's why she has an incredible business based on people who are very loyal to her, right? They would never use anybody. Went on a listing presentation last week with a client, and she said to my face and to Meryl's face, she goes, I would never use anybody else. Like, it's not even a question. And that comes from years of being a problem solver, right? Being authentic, caring, and being a problem solver. So the last thing in my playbook is you guys got to schedule it, right? Like, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. Like, all good intentions aside, you have to schedule this out. Pick one day a week for an hour and just get started. Don't overthink it. If all you can do to start out is connect on social media, do that. And then the next month, connect with handwritten cards. And then the next, like, you have a phone, you all have a phone. Start with your phone and then just build upon it. Because I promise you, it's an incredible source of business. You just have to start. So I end every class with this quote because it's so true, guys. If you really want to do something, you will find a way. Like, it's going to happen. Or you'll find an excuse. It's really easy to find excuses. Like, we're all human. It's easy to find an excuse. So don't just say you want to run your database, like, as a lead pillar and have an incredible business based on repeat clients and referrals. Make it happen. Of course, if you're interested in joining a team or you're curious about EXP, make sure to connect with me. We can talk about that. And then all of the resources can be found at bighelpertraining.com. If you have questions as you're setting up your grid, let me know. You can text me or DM me, whatever is easiest for you. I'll answer any questions and encourage you along the way. Definitely follow up with me because I would love to know how this works for you. I want to see it in your business put to action. So thanks, guys, for taking the time to be with me today. And hopefully we'll see each other soon in person, safely, and have tons of fun because I'm a people person and I miss people. We'll talk to you later.